Hey everybody! Welcome to Rockin' the Valley's Cyber Speakeasy. Today's password is Juneteenth Eve. My name is Mike, I am not for Coltrane. Thank you for joining us at your source for music, conversations, and cocktails. This is, we have so many wonderful things to talk about and so many wonderful people who are here with me this evening, and I think everybody's ready that if I turn this over like this, and we can see everybody, hey, look at all the wonderful people we have who are joining us here on the Cyber Speakeasy this evening. Let me unmute everybody so you can all tell me about what the things are. Hey, you've all unmuted yourselves. That's excellent. That's even better. I'm very grateful for that assistance. We've got Cassandra Rose up here on this side of me. We've got the one and only Bev Conklin, you know her from the BC combo, down just the square underneath me. And on the other side, we've got Cass Noel. Thanks so much for being here, all of you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And if folks are live online and can let us know that things are looking and sounding like we want them to, it sounds like looks like things are okay. Let's talk about what we're drinking. Cassandra, I know that you need to leave us a little bit early, so what do you have there with you?
I do, but that doesn't mean that I didn't make sure I was participating in this. I've got some bourbon here tonight, a bottle of Redemption.
Very nice. Is there a particular story, or is that your favorite or your preference, or?
Actually, I've never had this one before. However, I was listening to an Ashley McBryde song today where she talks about having a bottle of Redemption. And I was like, I could go for that.
That is a very evocative name. Yeah, that would be great in a song lyric, absolutely. How about you, Cass? What do you have?
I have a strawberry mango smoothie.
A strawberry mango smoothie, excellent. Is that homemade or is that from a fine local establishment?
Oh no, it's homemade.
Excellent.
My local establishment is my kitchen.
That's good. That's good. Kitchens are wonderful. Bev, what do you have?
I have some muddy water.
Ooh, what goes in that?
Muddy water on ice. Actually, it's a rum and coke. I'm boring. I'm not as adventurous as a bourbon right now. Oh my God,
the night is young.
Classic.
Yes.
Can't go wrong with there. And I know it looks like I'm drinking a salad.
Yeah,
So I found a recipe for I believe it was called glow water, and so it's got some fresh mint from the backyard. It's got some cucumber. It's got some lemon. It's got some simple syrup in it. The intent was to have more club soda, but I didn't realize that I was out of club soda. But yeah, it's actually not bad.
Very nice.
Yeah, so there you go. Thanks very much to all of you who are joining us live online. I hope that the folks who are out there watching this also have something tasty or refreshing or wonderful in your glasses. Here's to you. Thanks so much for being here with us.
Cheers.
Cheers indeed. Cheers indeed. And if you, any of the folks who are watching us live now, want to share what you are drinking with all of us, we would love to know more about that. So I'm going to put it back on me for just a moment, and I'm going to get us started with a song of my choosing. Let me check this over here. Oh, hey, we've got people who are, okay, people are commenting. It looks like things are happening. That is wonderful. I'm going to start us off with, like I said, a song of my choosing. I've been trying to think, these past couple weeks I've been thinking a lot about songs that kind of speak to the moment that we're in one way or another. Ben Harper has put out so much great music over the years. I, of course, learned about him quite a few years ago. The fact that his band is called the Innocent Criminals, I was like, wow, yes, there are a lot of people who have been out there saying important things that, if we were listening and paying attention, that could inform the conversation. So this is a song of his that I first heard quite a few years ago. I just began working on figuring out how to play it. We'll see how this goes. oppression. You prey on us when we sleep. Oppression. You chase after the tired, the poor, the weak. Oppression. You know you mean only harm. Oppression. You reach out with your long arms, but oppression. I won't let you near me, no. Oppression. You shall learn to fear me. Oppression. You seek population control. Oppression. To divide and to conquer is your goal. Oppression. I swear that hatred is your home. Oppression. You just won't leave bad enough alone. But oppression. I won't let you near me. Oppression. You shall learn to fear me. Oppression. I don't see how you sleep. Oppression. Oh, for your bleeding conscience I weep. Oppression. You may have the dollar on your side, but oppression. From the gospel truth you cannot hide an oppression. I won't let you near me, no. Oppression. You will learn to fear me. Oppression. I won't let you near me. Oppression. You shall fear me. Yes, you will. The Ben Harper song, Oppression. Thanks very much to everyone who is watching and everyone who is here live with us. Let me unmute everybody. And, oh, hey, people are able to unmute themselves. And we are here and we're back. Thanks very much to everyone who's hanging out with us. Thanks to all of our guests who are here. Can't go wrong with a little Ben Harper to get things started. So I'm gonna try to not break things here, and I'm going to turn things over to Cassandra. There you are. How
Hi.
are you?
I'm doing great. This was a good choice. You know, it's always risky when you have a certain bourbon or whiskey or whatever it is and you go for it, so I'm pleased.
I'm glad it's working out well. That's excellent.
So I've never tasted a bourbon I didn't like.
Oh, okay. Well, then so that there was some foundation to believe that this was something that was likely to work well. So that's good.
So a little bit of risk.
just a small. So thank you so much for making time to join us, because I know you have a very busy virtual evening coming up. In just a few minutes, you're going to you tell us what you have. You can tell better than I can.
Yeah, I don't really know how this happened, but it's all at once, right? So after this, I'm going to be at the Piano Pub here on Rocking the Valley.
Right.
So that's at 8 o'clock. There's going to be a bunch of great musicians jamming, so tune in for that.
It's kind of like a virtual open mic, essentially.
Yes, exactly. And then I offered to the first 3 people that wanted a musician at their own personal happy hour that I would be their musician. And so I just scheduled my last one for tonight.
That's
he's out
very
in California, so with the time difference, that's going to be after the Piano Pub.
Oh, that's great. So that becomes like sort of a virtual gig for you.
That's right.
That's very cool.
And I get to know some of the people. It's been really interesting during this quarantine time for me exploring music, because I started finding all these different open mics. And so I have all these new people that are, just affirming my music and want to hear more. And so I would want to get to know some of them, and I thought that might be a good way for me to keep being able to play music and to get to know them when normally, like at a show or something, or at an open mic, and talk to people afterwards.
Well, and the fact that it opens up new possibilities, because now you literally are playing a gig in California in a couple of hours from now.
Yeah, and that was
so that's kind of cool. Right, so that's
Right.
pretty cool. Yeah, and I also want to mention this too, that you started doing one of the live streams that you did recently. I think you've been doing, like a lot of us have been doing live streams from your home, but you also did one from a patio. Was it your patio, your friend's patio?
So it was a family that I've been friends with I guess now with the adults, I used to call them, Mr. and Mrs. But one of my best friends since I've known since kindergarten. She actually moved out to Georgia, but she is working remotely, and her family needed some help as well. She thought it would be a good time to come be with them. So they offered for me to do a little bit of my live stream. We'll do a live stream at their house, which is now inspired. I'm starting to think, so I've been doing during quarantine sessions for the soul, because it's something, music is just something that I needed, and it turns out a lot of people needed.
Yeah.
So that's why I called it that. Now with the good weather, I feel like I might start a backyard bars tour. So that might be my next project.
So the idea is to turn it into a series. So if you playing for a small group of socially distanced people in someone's backyard, and then be able to reach a larger audience online.
That's right.
Very cool. Well, and tell me also, because I know you've been doing some things with Rock in the Valley for a while, and I saw an old photo of you playing, it looked like at Hava Java over in Allentown. And I know that Steve had an opportunity, or has tried to give you opportunities to feature some of the stuff that you're doing here on Rock in the Valley too. And you want to talk about that, and what is some of that, how that's been coming together?
Yeah, Rocking the Valley has been so good to me in just encouraging me to explore my passion for music. That's always been there. I actually stumbled upon an open mic. Earl Andrews has an open mic in Whitehall.
Right, the library.
And that's where I met Steve, and he was like, you should come on the show, and started to tell me a little bit about it. And so I went on Rocking the Valley and got to meet other musicians too, so that was really neat, and it was just a new opportunity for me. So from there, I'd been on a couple times, and then it actually gave me the opportunity, one of those nights that I was on that show, the Lehigh Valley Music Association board, or awards board, I don't know if they're different, I'm still learning all these things, was doing a panel, and I got to meet some of them, and everyone said, there's this thing called the Lehigh Valley Music Awards, and there's an award for a new artist, like you should go for that. And I was like, oh, okay, like I don't know, this is all new, but sure.
Yeah.
And so I was nominated for New Outstanding Artist in 2019.
At the most recent one, yeah. Well, first off, congrats on the nomination. And then also, though, when we say new artist, is doing music like this, how is it you're new to the area, or that you've been doing this for a while? How's your story coming together on that?
So, new artists for the award, there are stipulations about, having performed live in the Lehigh Valley. Or put out a music video, or put out an EP, or something where you're actually publicly doing music.
Right.
For me, music has always been a passion. I mean, to the point, from the very beginning of being a child in my home, singing in my mirror and my brush, like all singers do, or dancing around the living room. My mom always had music in the house. It was just like oxygen in the air. Then I got more into dance. So in school, I was into like the plays or like pageants and things like that, singing church choir. Definitely was, as soon as I could join the children's choir, I did that. And then I got really into dance, actually, and that became more of the focus. And after college, then someone put a guitar in my hands and said, I think you need to learn this. And it was something I always wanted to learn, but I'm such a perfectionist. So when I was in middle school, I told my parents I wanted a guitar, and I got one, but I didn't know how to play it, and so automatically I sucked, right? Like, I'm the worst, and I can't do this.
We're done with this. This is not worth it. Yeah.
Because I should have got it immediately without any lessons. So I had the guitar, and I once in a while would like fiddle on it, but then when someone really pushed me, a friend of mine, I was like, okay. And it also just coincided with some things happening in my life. I was part of a young adult community that we used to get together, do praise and worship, and our musicians were moving away, and we needed musicians at the same time, which this other friend didn't know. So I just took it as a big sign that I was supposed to learn guitar, and then, the story unfolds. Life takes us on this wild journey, and then eventually I end up at that open mic, and then here I am.
And then here you are. Well, that's awesome. Very cool. And we're very glad that you've ended up on that journey that brings you in connection with Rock in the Valley, and so more people get to hear your music. And we'd love to hear something from you right now if you're up for it.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
So I typically play covers. I am also exploring writing my own music. So that's definitely on the bucket list. I think that is, like, in my mind, the epitome of artistry when it comes to music, to use your voice in that way.
Sure. I think one of the best things that I ever sort of grasped about songwriting, and you can take this or leave this. I don't know if you might find it useful or not. Writing a song is not that hard. Writing a good song can be challenging. But that because I'm dealing with the same kind of perfectionist thing, and so if throwing out the idea of it has to be good, just the idea of just, hey, there are words and there's music and they start fitting together. It's an exercise that I have to do for myself to sort of remind myself, okay, I don't have to actually spend years perfecting every piece of it. Sometimes it's fine to just a very simple chord progression and Moon June Spoon and hey, it's a song.
I love that. Thank you. I actually. I really do. I was at a friend's, and her daughter was just like, she's like, 3 years old, and just like making songs that didn't make sense, but just like having the time of her life. And I was like, that's what I need to do.
To sort of be uninhibited like that. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. Well, I'd love to hear whatever you have selected for this evening, because I know in addition the cover songs, just the selection of the cover song is a creative process. So I'm eager to hear what you have for us.
You're right. So I'm going to sing a song by Winona Judd. So I tend to like country music, right? I like things that just touch the soul, but that's kind of where my soul gravitates. So this is called Grandpa.
Tell me about the good old days. Sometimes it feels like this world's gone crazy. Take me back to yesterday, when the line between right and wrong didn't seem so hazy. Did lovers really fall in love to stay? Stand beside each other, come what may. Was a promise really something people kept, not just something they would say? Do families really bow their heads to pray? Did daddies really never go away? Oh, Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. Everything is changing fast. They call it progress, but I just don't know. Let's wander back into the past and paint me a picture. Did lovers really fall in love to stay and stand beside each other, come what may? Was a promise really something people kept, not just something they would say? Did family families really bow their heads to faith? Do daddies really never go away? Oh, Grandpa, tell me about the old days. Oh, Grandpa, tell me about the good old days.
That's really, really nice. Thank you so much for doing that.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yes, very much so. And I know we need to let you go soon to get over to the piano pub. But before we do that, I want to give you a chance to talk about, because you have in addition to you being really busy tonight, because you're going to the piano pub and then you have private gigs over the internet, you also have a bunch of stuff coming up this weekend. So what do you have coming up this weekend?
Yeah, so I'm really blessed that the Taylor House Brewery has been like a home to me. And so I'm going to be playing there on Saturday at 7 o'clock.
And that's up in Caddy?
Yes, Catasauqua. So you can actually go, there's going to be a food truck. If you want to get food to go, you can get food to go. If you want to stay, they have tables separated, right, for social distancing, or you can even bring your own lawn chair because that's just kind of the environment. And of course, you can get their beer there to go, or you can get it there and hang out, and I'll be playing at in there. And then Sunday, I have to like keep a track of it. I'm like, wait a minute.
Right, there's a lot going on. It's Sunday, right?
Yeah, Sunday is the International Make Music Day, if you've ever heard of that before. And there's a branch of that called Make Music Philly, and they usually have a festival for that, but that festival has become virtual, and so I will be playing that festival virtually at 1 o'clock.
Very cool. And so that's and that's through your Facebook page. People can watch that.
Yes, Cassandra Rose Music, and I think you tagged me. My page.
Yes, linked in the description. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, have fun with all the gigs tonight, and have fun with all the gigs this weekend, and we look forward to seeing you again real soon.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Good to meet you guys too.
Likewise.
All of you.
I'm gonna leave it on you for just a minute, and then I'm going to put Bev up so we can see Bev, and then have a chance to talk with her. Bev, can we still hear you?
Can you?
Okay, excellent. There we are. And actually, and if you can aim your camera up just a little bit more so that you're more toward the middle of the frame, we would like to see your lovely face. There we go. Yeah, that'll work. Perfect. Thank you so much for doing this, Bev. How are you?
Good. I grabbed my guitar.
Yeah, you do have your guitar. Yes. Here, let me put so people can actually see. I actually, come to think of it, I don't think I've ever heard you play guitar.
Yeah, I don't think anyone has.
there's a reason for that? Okay.
But I thought, it's this COVID thing, and it's like, as Joe Mack tells me every day, happy Groundhog Day. That's how he...
Right, what is time anymore? Yeah.
Right. It's like every day, just like the day before. So I thought, my guitars, I have two of them sitting in the bag. And it's a shame because there's nobody here anymore to come over and just, they're usually noodling. Musicians like you, they can't come over and just not pick one up. So, I thought, let me just pick it up and see what I can do, and Wayne's like, what do you think about paint it black? And I'm like, paint it black. So I Googled it.
You looked up the chords in the tablature, yeah.
He gave me chords, and I go, oh, I can do that. Now, is it my key? No, because in the key that I sing it in, I can't do that. So anyway, I just, I am trying to make the best of what we're doing. We had just released a brand new CD right before the gates closed.
So let me back up for folks who, and everyone in Lehigh Valley should know who you are, but in case some people might be watching us and may not be familiar, you're the leader, the namesake of the BC Combo, which is a wonderful blues rock outfit here centered in the Lehigh Valley. You mentioned Wayne. So why don't you mention, because Wayne and Joe Mack and some of the other folks in the band have come in and out. I know you just posted something that you've got a new bassist you're working with. So tell us a little bit about the ensemble and so all the people that you bring together for that.
Sure. So, we worked with Kevin Groller for 8 years, and then he decided he wanted to pursue another avenue. And he was very gracious to finish this CD with us so that we could just get it done. And then Glenn Spadone reached out to us because a good dear friend of ours, Kim Brewer, out of New Jersey, she had some health issues and wasn't able to go on with her band the way she wants to right now. And Glenn kind of stepped up and said, I'll do it. And, we had some auditions, and just to make it fair to those who wanted to audition. And he just was a easy fit. And that was a simple decision. So he played his first gig with us at the Shanty. And then again, COVID.
And then COVID.
Yeah.
Well, and we should mention, so Joe Mack, a great guitar player, he's been hanging out with you for how many years now?
Yeah, a lot.
It's always great to hear him play. And of course, you mentioned Wayne, and it's Wayne Smith, right?
That's right.
Okay.
So Wayne and I are the original members of this group that exists now, back from 1991.
Wow.
I know, I'm showing my age. So is my hair with this.
No, it's great. That's awesome.
So Wayne's like, his girlfriend calls me the band wife. She and I just laugh.
Yeah.
You've met Wayne. He's
yes.
quite the genius at what he does, but he's very quirky at it.
Well, I mean, I think it's fair to say that Wayne is essentially the musical director. Is that fair?
Musical director, and he's the genius behind all of our originals.
He does a lot of the writing, a lot of the arranging.
Yeah, even if I wrote a song, he's got to put his signature stamp on it. It doesn't matter. Ray Charles could come in and sit in with us and slide Ray along, but just as an analogy. And then Joe Mack came along like 10 years ago when he moved to the area from Chicago, and he was looking for blues and found us at Porter's Pub. And, he said, I looked up blues and there you are. And I'm like, well, thank you. And then Todd Wolf had been in the area for a while. Todd wasn't always blues, but he certainly can play the blues and whatever else he wants. And he was told to go down to that other place, Pearly Baker's, where we used to play in Easton. And he started going to the jams there. But then eventually, when he wasn't playing with his bands, because Joe became the lead guitarist of Charlie Brown's Notorious Group and for Kim Brewer's band. And then Charlie retired and then unretired and retired and then retired. It's a joke with all of it. Charlie's not my big...
Well, I think one of the things that's cool about it, though, is that there's an aspect to the local blues community that it is pretty tight-knit, and that, it makes sense for people to just jam and just show up, and, sometimes the personnel changes out, and, hey, this person's available and this other person isn't, and you just find ways to make it work, and I think that's pretty cool.
I call it incestuous.
Well, really, that's a word for it, yes.
We have been running a jam for so long that it just became the boundaries of when it was a BC and the Blues Crew are now the BC Combo gig, that when our jammers came out, it just seemed natural that we'll get up and sing a song, and I'll do anything.
Right, because you've all played it together before, and very cool.
And then our most recent addition to the band, who took Paz's place on bass, because Paz really wants to play keys, and Wayne is a keyboard player, and neither one of them could play their instrument and a keyboard. So Paz had other interests that he was able to pursue that. Scott Marshall being one, among some other excellent artists in the area and the region.
Sure.
So Brad Van Etten auditioned with some other folks, and we had some interest from Philly, but it just turned out that Brad, I thought he was performing with other folks, and he says he's available, and I said, well, you can come and audition, and he blew my mind. Now, Brad has been coming to our jams, and he's the most humble person I know. I had no idea the degree of his skill set. So I was just blown away.
That's very cool.
You know, coming out like you, had no idea just the way you all approach how to learn songs, you know, to do like, you know, at Godfrey's where the, with the thing that we missed out on for July 10th coming up.
Well, yeah, we could talk about that for a minute too. That the Come Together shows that I've been putting together at Godfrey Daniels. It's a benefit we do every year for No Place for Hate. We moved it to an online format this year at the beginning of April, and we had said at that point we're rescheduling for July, and it's, you know, the idea of an in-person concert. It's still a little bit up in the air. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. But I'm so grateful that you're able to come in and be part of that, because you're the people that you can bring to it, right? And the sensibility that you bring to it, and just the openness of, yeah, cool, let's take a risk on this. Because one of the things that was so striking when we said the format for the show, for this Come Together show, when we're actually able to do it in person, for anyone who hasn't been to one of these, is we get a whole bunch of, 5-6 performers, no connection to each other, different genres, never played together, and we all just kind of figure out some way to riff off of each other and to sort of make music together. And so when I reached out to you initially, you said, "Oh, okay, yeah, my band and I can be there." And I'm like, "Well, so here's the thing. You're
on your own, kid.
I was like, "Yes,
band to protect you."
The idea, yeah, exactly. And it very much is like doing musical trust falls, right? And I have so much respect for you that you said, "You know what? I trust you. We're going to see how this goes." And it was so amazing to see what you did as part of that, and how you could be what we did with the show last year. It was really, really cool.
Well, you can't deny the reason for it, and no place for hate and the anti-bullying message.
Absolutely,
and, absolutely, to start that message at a very early age in the school system in our region. And this is a global effort. This is not just here, but for you to be the spokesperson for the Philly region, I guess it is, but to bring it to...
So then the benefit is for No Place for Hate, which is a program in many, many, many schools around here, including the ones in Bethlehem, and I believe Northampton and a couple of the other school districts, as probably as well as individual schools. So this No Place for Hate program is an initiative of the Anti-Defamation League, and so what we raise through the Come Together programs goes to ADL to support these programs. And absolutely, to make sure that kids are getting these messages, and however the schools find a way to encourage that openness and welcome, that everybody feels, that there's a place for everybody in the school, and that we go larger than that and say, hey, there's a place for everybody in our community. It doesn't end when you graduate. But you're absolutely right that the message needs to start when they're really young.
Yeah.
Speaking of social awareness, one of the songs that I was gravitating to, and we'll see if this works. So it's eminently possible that people may be able to see us and that we can reconnect with the show that is already in progress. But I don't know. We're going to find out in a few minutes. Where were we? We were talking about... oh, yes. I was going to mention in terms of musical selections and things that you do and have been involved with. We can't bring in the whole band, unfortunately, right now to be as part of the Cyber Speakeasy. So I pulled up some clips from before, and I pulled up some video from a show that you and the BC Combo did back at Steel Stacks. I think it was one of the Valentine's Day shows. There are a bunch of clips up there on YouTube. And I said, oh, Bev and Wayne and the crew did A Change Is Gonna Come, the great Sam Cooke song. I'm like, that's got to be the one that we go to, because Okay, so we're getting words that people can see us again. Yay, good. Okay, it didn't stop in the middle. Thanks very much for that word. A Change is Going to Come. It's a great Sam Cooke song. In fact, I played it to introduce last week's show, but I wanted to have, and I guess I'm putting you on the spot since you had no idea I was going to pick that song. But what does that song mean to you, or how often do you come back to that as a performer?
Well, it's Sam Cooke had an amazing was an amazing artist, and his voice just smooth as butter. He just was able to convey this particular song, which is deep. It's kind of like I'll equate it to, especially given the times right now. Yeah, I don't want to get into all that, but like one of my, along with Sam Cooke, is someone that Wayne really respected in this particular song. And there's a guy named Gino over at the West Copley Manicure. Every time we play there, we can't leave until we do this song for him. But obviously, the message is very clear that things have to change. That Black people are not animals, and a change is going to come, and we are to be treated as everyone else. And I'm trying to think of her name. She's hanging up on my wall. Her album in the other room. She sang about strange fruit. And now
Billie
you're
Holiday.
hearing about lynchings now, and people don't know what that means. I mean, little kids don't know what that means.
Yeah.
And it's just, I was born in 1960, so I'm like the segue generation that, just caught glimpses of Martin Luther King. And I didn't understand that when I was young because I'm an Army brat, and then we moved. So I was living all over the world while a lot of these hateful things are going on. So all I can say is a change is going to come is like the standard for getting the message across in a beautiful way. And, we pray and we pray and pray even more today that a change is still going to come. And now is the time where we just, we've had enough. And, I don't need someone calling the police, which has happened to me, saying that, oh, she's got a gun in her hand and I was on my cell phone. I could have been shot. So I don't talk about these things, but just because of the color of my skin doesn't mean that you have the right to go and, act like that. It just, so, I can say personally, I fear for people who hate because they live in fear and they don't open their minds to the reality that people bleed the same and feel pain the same. And then, somebody doesn't have the patience to stay home for a little bit longer until we figure out what this virus is, But so many things that, just a little, you don't have to be intelligent, but at least find out some facts and make your decisions on facts instead of being impatient. Now, I know we all need money, we all need to survive, and but a change is going to come. We're all living this together. It's a global issue, not just something here in Pennsylvania. It's everywhere, and I can't stress enough. At least just take some time to wear your mask if you're out in public, protect other people and yourself, so that maybe they don't bring it to those who were not well prepared if they were to, contract this virus. Don't be a spreader. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that to me is one of the big things that connects the protests that have been going on in the wake of the murder of George Floyd, as well as the whole thing with coronavirus. We are all connected. It's not like we have a choice to just sort of withdraw. We are all connected, and we're all complicit in the ways that everybody else in our society is treated. And it's been, I think, a lot of I think for me, and I think for a lot of people, it's been sort of a greater awareness of how interconnected we are and how the actions that I take or the silence that I keep ends up affecting other people around me. And that's really important.
It's a conversation.
Yeah.
And, you know, I have always been the only Black person in every class I've been in. And at Penn State, I used to make it a point to walk into the most redneck bar and sit next to the truck driver and drink the most Long Island iced teas with him. And we were the best of buds, you know. Yeah. And I think that's just it. You break down barriers by having a conversation and just getting to know people. And then pretty soon they don't see color. They just say, wow, you're really fun. You know, you're a fun person. Nice to meet you. And then you have a friend for life. And that's how I met so many people in Pennsylvania, just by stepping it through the door and having a conversation. And, you know, right now we all have to work together and get through this together. And I think, you know, separate the issues as individual issues. They're not all one issue. They're all separate things that are happening at the same time. And we just have to learn together and do the best we can to try and do what's best for everyone as best we can. You know? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay,
I can't put it any better. That's excellent. And thank you so much for talking about this, because I know I'm putting you on the spot too. We talked about the song, so I'm going to go ahead and put that up now. And for my guests, so for you who are watching us live online, it's going to look just exactly the way you'd think it would be. For the folks who are with me in the conference, I'm going to switch some things around so people can get also, my guests here can also see the BC combo performing A Change Is Gonna Come.
I was born by the river in a little old town. Just like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change is gonna come. Oh, yes, indeed. It's been too hard living. Oh, and I'm afraid to die. 'Cause I don't know what's up there beyond that cloud up in the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know change will come. Oh, yes, indeed. I go to the movies and I go downtown, and they tell me, oh, we don't want you there. It's been a long time coming, but I know change never comes. Oh, yes, indeed. And I go to my brother and I say, brother, help me please. But it always winds up like he always is knocking me right back down on my knees. Oh, there's been times when I thought I would last too long, but I know I'm good. I'm gonna carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, indeed. Oh, I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, indeed. I know a change is coming. Not like
not like yesterday. Change, oh, change, I know change. Oh, yes, it's coming. Doesn't matter what your politics are, what your religion is. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what your culture is. Oh, we know it's for the day, not like tomorrow, but for the day, for our children, for tomorrow. Oh, change, oh, change is coming.
That is such a wonderful performance, Bev. And yeah, thank you so much for being here tonight. And before I forget, people will have an opportunity to see you and the band virtually really soon, right?
Yeah, next Wednesday, Summer in the City, downtown Allentown is sponsoring us for 5 o'clock next Wednesday, that's June 24th. And then we'll be playing live July 5th at Alba Vineyard. And also July 8th, we'll be playing live on the deck of the Meadows in Hellertown.
Awesome. And so all those are linked at our events on the BC Combo page here on Facebook, right?
They are on our online schedule, yes.
Thank you so much for being here, Bev. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I'm going to leave it on you for just a moment, and we're going to put it up over on Cass, who has been very, very patient while we've had all these other conversations going on. How are you, Cass?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
We've been having all sorts of great stuff tonight. And I guess waiting, and I don't know how people can't necessarily see this, but you've been talking about it online, the fact that your family is about to get bigger very soon.
Yeah. We've been waiting.
What's
you
that?
can't really see it behind my guitar, but if I a little bit,
there you go.
about to pop.
And I love how in you had a chance to do the Steel Stacks lunchtime show the other day, and you mentioned before the show that essentially every show you do these days is say, "This is my last one before I go into labor." And I know that even when we were trying to get things set up for tonight, it's like, well, this is assuming that we don't have to run off to the hospital in the middle of the show.
Right. I feel that way every day before I leave work too. I set things up, guys, in case I disappear tomorrow. This is what you need to know.
This is what happened. Well, that's very cool. And so I'm glad that you've had these opportunities to get in and do some music, because I'm curious as to how kids take up a lot of time, as I'm sure you're already aware. Do you have a sense of how that's? I mean, I guess the cool part is that with you playing the guitar, there's got to be some musical things that the kid is picking up from being so close to all these vibrations.
I hope so. Or she's going to come out just like, super. I don't know. I can hope and pray that she's musical. She might not be, but either way, I know that I grew up in a very musical family, but they don't know it. And probably my fondest memories are of sitting side by side in the same recliner with my grandfather, and he would play the mandolin and we would sing, and like that's something I'll cherish forever. So I'm really looking forward to doing that with her
Absolutely, absolutely. And of course, then the multi-generational connection that you can have there, and at the family gatherings, when we can actually have family gatherings again, to be able to share that. Well, Cass, I want to make sure we have a chance to hear you play before we have to get ourselves off the air. So what would you like to play for us?
Sure. I actually changed my mind about what I was going to play a few minutes ago.
That's just fine. That's your prerogative. You can totally do that.
It happens. So this, and I feel like it's kind of I don't want to say cop out because it's sort of become my signature, but I just think it's so appropriate for right now. And it's the song that I do at the end of every gig, and it's called Good Night. And it's just about being there for each other. And I've seen a lot of that through all the negativity, all the craziness going on. I've seen people just step out and help each other. And that's awesome. It's like Mr. Rogers said, right? Look for the helpers. And I've seen a lot of that. And I'm fortunate in my position at work I work at a hospital and I'm administrative. So I actually ended up being the person to see all the donations come in, and things that local restaurants who themselves were struggling were donating food, and people were at home sewing masks. And it's just to see the community come together has been incredible.
Yeah.
And the same with the musical community. I'm just blown away by everyone encouraging each other and doing live streams and live streaming for charity and for other musicians. And so I'd like to do a song called Good Night. It's actually the song that my husband and I danced to at our wedding. So
that's lovely.
Extra special to me. But I guess I'll take it away. I switched to the guitar because my band guitar was too loud, but it works out, right?
Today you look around, you see nothing like before. The people that you used to know don't know you anymore. They'll paint a picture of what they would like to see. We're just learning to be you and me. Tomorrow I may need you to sing me to sleep, but tonight I'll hold your hand. I'll be the peace that you need. The world will try and break you, but you'll always have me. I will be faithfully by your side. They say you'll find out who your real friends are. Most of them, they come and believe in what's on your heart. Don't hold it all against the ones who walked away. They'd be better than if they'd stay. Tomorrow I may need you to sing me to sleep, but tonight I'll hold your hand. I'll bring the peace that you need. The world will try and break you, but you'll always have me. I will be faithfully by your side. When you're surrounded by the great hypocrisy of the ones who think they've been there, though they've never moved their feet. Remember that your story is yours and yours alone, and you get to decide how it goes. Tomorrow I may need you to sing me to sleep, but tonight I'll hold your hand. I'll bring the peace that you need. The world will try and break you, but you'll always have me. I will be faithfully by your side. And even if
tomorrow I may need you to sing me to sleep. But tonight I'll hold your hand, I'll bring the peace that you need. The world will try and break you, but you'll always have me. I will be faithfully by your side.
Yay.
That is lovely. And there, let me put this back up so we can see everybody who's here. Cass, first off, that's such a great signature song to have. And thank you so much for bringing that out to us as we wrap things up tonight. Thank you so much to Cass, and thank you so much to Bev for being here. And I raise my glass to you for making time to do this. And also, of course, to Cassandra Rose, who is already prepped and ready for the piano pub here at Rock in the Valley, which is just about to get started. So that's where we're going to leave things for tonight. I'm going to put that over there so it's back on me and you can start to hear the music again. Thanks everybody who has been able to join us online this evening. Everyone who's hit that like button and that share button. Everyone who is able to go out and check more information about the performers who are here. They are all linked in the description. So click on their names and learn more about them and go see them. Congratulations to Cass on the growing family, and so much thanks to everyone who is here able to join us. We'll see you right here on Rock in the Valley at 7 o'clock next week. But for right now, please enjoy the piano pub with Steve Jones over at it's happening right now. My name is Mike. I am not for Coltrane. Please take care of yourselves, take care of each other. I'll see you real soon.